Assalamu alaikum, dear students. It's me, Muhammad Zubair Khan, and this is the fourth week that we are going to study the online. So, today we will discuss the different components of the frequency distribution. Some of the students were asking about that how to calculate the class boundaries, how to calculate the class mark, how to calculate the class interval. That's why today I am giving you an examples related to all these three components, and after that we will discuss the cumulative frequency and how to calculate the cumulative frequency for the frequency distribution. Basically, before to start the class boundary, class interval and class mark, let me tell you about the frequency distribution. Frequency distribution basically it is a tabulated form of the data. Like this is a frequency distribution table. Remember one thing, in frequency distribution, it it means that frequency is this is frequency. Frequency means number of items in a data. These items are distributed in different groups. For example, this is a given data. It's not from my own side, but it's a given data, it's a given question. So here, if you see, the frequency is distributed. The items are distributed in different groups or different classes. Now, for example, if you have the first group that is 10 to 19 having one person, suppose this is the students who's having marks between these groups. The lowest mark that one student's having between 10 and 19, that is one student. There are two students suppose having marks between 20 and 29, five students having marks between 30 and 39, then six students between 40 and 49, and so on. So this is the way that how the frequency is distributed in different groups or different classes. Now, we have discussed in the previous class that the classes are in continuous form, yeah, in discontinuous form. So if you see, this is the continuous form of the classes. Why it's called continuous form? Because the ending point of this class is not the starting point of the next one. These are different. So if the ending point of the first class is not the starting point of the second one, or the ending point of the second class is not the starting point of the third one, it means the classes are in discrete form. Juda juda. So if the classes are discrete, are separate, these are called what? Class limits. The starting point is called lower class limit, and the upper point is called upper class limit. Yeah, the ending point is called upper class limit. How we can convert them into class boundaries? C dot B means class boundary. Class boundary converting the discontinuous form into continuous form. So what we have to do, the procedure is very simple. Just subtract 0.5 from the lower class limit and add 0.5 to the upper class limit. So you can convert the class limits into class boundaries. These are class limits. Class limits. Now we will find out the class boundaries, because you will need in the upcoming classes, if the class limits are given, so you will need to convert the class limits into class boundaries. So here if we subtract 0.5 from 10, so it will become 9.5 minus up to 19.5. If we add 0.5 to 19, so it will become 19.5. Now if you see, automatically in the next class, if we subtract 0.5 from 20, so it will become 19.5, and 29 will become 29.5. If we subtract 0.5 from 30, so it will become 29.5, and this will become 39.5. So do addition with the upper class limit and do subtraction from the lower class limit. So you will get the upper class boundary and the lower class boundary like this. Here you have the repetition. It will become 39.5 and it will become 49.5. It will become 49.5 and this will become 59.5. Now 60 will become 59.5 and 69 will become 69.5. Then again 70 will become 69.5 and 79 will become 79.5. It will not affect the classes, it will not affect the groups, but you can say that there is a repetition. Now look at the ending point of this one is the starting of the second one. तकरार में आया, तकरार ची रकम में आया कि इंजाई खत्म में शा और इंजाई start में शा. So the ending point of this class is the starting of the next one. So there is a repetition, there is a zigzag relation. This is called what? A zigzag relation. So if you have a zigzag relation amongst the class, the starting and the ending points, so you can say the classes are in continuous form. And these are called what? Class boundaries. So if the class boundaries are not given, so you can convert the class limits into class boundaries by this way. This was the first point. The second one is class mark. Class mark basically a class interval. Class interval, if the classes are in discontinuous form, so you can only find out the class interval by taking the difference between any two consecutive lower class limits or any two consecutive upper class limit, like this: 20 minus 10, 10, 30 minus 20, 20, 40 minus 30, 10, 50 minus 40, 10, 60 minus 50, 10. So here if you see 29 minus 19, so it will become 10, 39 minus 29, it will become 10, 49 minus 39, so it will become 10. Only vertically you can do subtraction to find out the class interval. So class interval in this case, it will become what? 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. So class interval is 10 and it is representing by h also, small h. In case if you see here, so you can find out this particular 10 by, in case of class boundaries are in continuous form, vertically as well as horizontally. Look at, if you do it vertically, so 19.5 minus 9.5, 10, 29.5 minus 19.5, 10, 39.5 minus 29.5, 10, and so on. Horizontally also it's giving you the same answer: 19.5 minus 9.5, 10, 29.5 minus 19.5, 10 again. So by this way you can find out the class interval. You can get the class interval in class limits as well as in class boundary. The last one is class mark. Class mark, which is representing by x also. Class mark basically is the midpoint between the lower class limit and upper class limit divided by 2. Addition of these two divided by 2. Yeah, the midpoint directly you can take from these two, yeah, from these two. So it's very simple. If you take 10 plus 19 divided by 2, so it will become 29 divided by 2, or it will become 14.5. It is also, by this way you can also find out 9.5 plus 19.5 divided by 2. So again it will become 29 divided by 2, or you can say 14.5. So mid value representing by class mark, and it is easily calculated by this way. Here it will become 24.5 by this way. Here it will become 34.5. Here 44.5, 54.5, 64.5, 74.5. By this particular method or formula you can get the class marks in case of class boundaries, in case of class limits. So this is the way that how you can find out the different components of the frequency distribution. By this way you can complete the frequency distribution table. In the next class I will tell you how to calculate the less than cumulative frequency and more than cumulative frequency. Thank you very much.